Hi, hello. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, all of you gorgeous, wonderful humans. Welcome to an impromptu, if you're watching this on YouTube, and scheduled, if you're watching this on Twitch, stream today. I'm aware this might be coming across quite randomly on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Hi, hello, Clibralia. That's such a beautiful name. Hello, CG Creations. This should help the midday slog at work. It's been a long day. I am happy to help your midday slog. It is currently 7 p.m. in the UK, and I did want to kind of like host this a little bit later in the day because I'm aware I have a majority American audience. Of course, I am myself American, but I live in London, and so I thought maybe I would kind of like try to push things a little bit later into the day so y'all could join. Yes, hello, hello. Yes, hi. I haven't ever done a multi-stream before, so I'm streaming this to YouTube and Twitch. And I have to say, just bear with me if we have any. Hopefully this is all working well and okay. But yeah, I'm kind of like new to streaming on multiple platforms at once, so hopefully it doesn't get too weird and chaotic. Yeah, thank you guys for showing up on such short notice. Thank you for being here. If you're not aware, I stream every Wednesday evening on Twitch. That's been something I've kept up with the last few months. And usually my streams on Twitch are very like extremely chill, extremely relaxed. A lot of times I'm playing video games. If you're not aware, I am a big gamer girl. And so I always kind of feel like I have to like keep my Twitch streams in their own little place and not bring them to YouTube because I guess I just assume that my YouTube audience do not want to see me, you know, playing Baldur's Gate 3, but correct me if I'm wrong. Today I was feeling like, if you're not aware, and I'm aware I have a lot of American followers, but if you're not aware, we had a little bit of a historical event in the UK today, and it was not super great for the trans community. So I guess I was just having this feeling of like this big historical event has just happened, and I'm scheduled to be streaming anyway on Twitch. So I was like, heck, let's combine these two instances and let's do a little stream on both YouTube and on Twitch. And I don't have a lot of expectations or intentions for this stream. I want to hang out. I want to just discuss. Maybe we can do a little bit of like we can obviously do a little bit of political discussion. I've spent a lot of today like researching and processing, so I'm not totally ill-equipped to process some of this with y'all and to talk about it. But I thought, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. UK shit the bed, girl. Truly, we're gonna take the volume down a little notch. There, UK shit the bed, and things are a little bit crazy, and we're all just kind of processing. So that's what this stream is. It's processing. But I do want to also just say that this stream isn't going to be just. This isn't a doomer stream. We're not doom scrolling. I'm not going to be bringing up like exploring loads of negative media or whatever in this stream. Like honestly, more than anything else, I want to just hang out with you guys. The other thing is that usually after I release a video essay the next month, I do a live stream on YouTube. And I didn't do that this time. I mean, I'm doing it now. Hello. This is your post video essay live stream. I don't really know why I did not do a live stream after the last video, but also that didn't happen. I always do a live stream after I do a video upload. So That's what this is. So, if you also have any questions about the last video, if there's any of the philosophy in it that you would like to dig into and to discuss today, this is our opportunity to do this. This is the space for it. No doom. No doom. Listen, I like Benny. I woke up today feeling a little bit depressed, and we don't need to, I don't want to carry that energy on the stream today. We're processing, but I want to be putting out positive energy. And also, I'm having my third coffee at 7 p.m. So, prepare for some unhinged shenanigans. And yeah, combining the Twitch, I feel like my Twitch is a deeply unhinged space for me, and it's nice for me to have that space. In my YouTube, I'm often endeavoring to be academic and intellectual, so we're combining both those spaces, so we'll see how that goes. We all get tired of the doom, truly. Also, just to say, this is obviously I'm streaming on 2 platforms right now, but the chat only shows up if you chat on Twitch. Obviously, don't feel any pressure to do that, but if you're a little bit confused, if you're sending chats on YouTube and you're like, I don't see the chats popping up, it's because my chat's only set up to work with Twitch. That's just the way we're set up here. But rest assured, I can see both chats. I will be responding to both chats. If you also see me responding to something and you're like, I didn't see that in the chat, just be aware that it's like from another platform. Can I just ask, can somebody please let me know if the audio levels are okay, and be brutally honest, because we're going to be hanging out for a while tonight. I would like to know if the levels are poor in any capacity. Is the music mixed well with the sound? Please let me know. Crush says, 2 coffees. I am no longer responsible for what I say. And yeah, I mean, the same. UK shout itself, girl. Okay, there's been a couple questions already in the chat that I have not replied to, and also etiquette, chat etiquette. You can always double post, girl. Maybe don't like triple or quadruple post, but if I don't respond to something, you want me to respond to it. I'm not always going to respond to everything, but you're more than welcome to post things in more than once, because sometimes the chat gets buried. We had somebody ask, are you just a woman now? I haven't really kept up since the original starting HRD video. And oh boy. I am just a woman, just a boring old female, just a boring old biological female. Listen, how much time do we have? I still have complicated feelings about gender to this day. I feel as a very alternative woman, and as just like an alternative person, I think I feel like I don't really feel super strong needs to label myself, and I just don't like labels. I'm just like too edgy and interesting for labels. I do identify as a woman. That is a label I have identified under for a while now, and it feels correct and accurate, and I'm perfectly comfortable within that. And I've felt a lot of empowerment in exploring like what that label means for me. And but I would say that because in reference to, you haven't really kept up since the original starting HRT video. If y'all don't know, I came out on this channel as non-binary, and I made a lot of content around non-binary medical transition. And I sometimes will say that I'm like a non-binary woman, but honestly, I don't really have a super strong connection to most gendered labels and terminology. I do these days tend to just define myself as a woman if asked, but yeah. If I'm talking to tourists and they're like, you're secretly a man, I'm like, fuck yeah, I am. I'm like the most alpha male that you will ever meet. Just to answer your question, I don't even know, girl. Someone also asked if JK Rowling funded this. Okay, yeah, so let's get into it. I'm gonna drink some more coffee. Sophie, my love, my dearest love. Um, we have a very talented filmmaker in the chat right now. Sophie Straw and I did a really cool film a while back. And Sophie said woman, but in a cool and mysterious way. I connect with that. Yes. I connect with that. But yeah, I don't know. There's a friend of mine who wrote her thesis called like Exploding Woman, I think. I don't know. I could go into that. It's like some really interesting philosophy on plasticity and stuff. I'm gonna not do it justice, so maybe I shouldn't go into it. But all that to say, labels, labels, me an intellectual. Okay. Shazane, I'm gonna butcher names, by the way. Names are getting butchered. If you want to send me pronunciations, I will do my best. Shazane says, what's your Twitch name? My Twitch name is also Mars in Theory. I am Mars in Theory everywhere on the internet except for TikTok. On TikTok, I am Mars in Theory 1 because I took my own username and then I couldn't get my own username. So now I'm Mars in Theory 1 on TikTok. So but yeah, I'm at Mars in Theory everywhere on the internet. Lower class warfare says boring cis female. Can I just say honestly, like it's problematic to say, and let's be very clear. I am a transsexual, and I will always be a woman of trans experience, and I have no shame in that. That's part of my journey. But I have to say, post-op, I've had these moments where I catch myself because I have these moments where I dead ass without self-awareness will include myself in an AFAB category. I'll be like, well, yeah, as an AFAB person, and then I'll be like, girl, you're not AFAB. What? Just fully convinced myself that I'm cis, but I'm super aware that I'm not. And but I often do feel like a boring cis female. Yeah. Emphasis on the boring. Voice audio seems good. Music seems fine. I'm using my phone though. Audio sounds good to me. Thank you for the feedback, guys. I appreciate it. Mini Katana says, wait, I didn't know that the UK is implementing anti-trans legislation like the US is right now. Girl, we fucking invented anti-trans legislation. We certainly are. And I actually saw a reel the other day that actually it's saying that it's worse to be trans in the UK than it is in the States. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I would go that far. But it's not great here. It's not really fantastic. Sober with Hair says, what's the title mean? Okay, let's get into it. We're how many minutes in? We're fucking 22 minutes into the stream. Okay, let's get into it. So, if you are not following UK news, the Supreme Court ruled today that trans women are not included in the Equality Act. The Equality Act only refers, I'm going to clarify that in a second, but rules that the Equality Act refers to biological women and specifically excludes trans women. A lot of people are feeling like this is this truly catastrophic event, and it is definitely unfortunate. Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate, and it's definitely a little bit depressing. I think that I have a lot of complicated feelings about it, and we'll get into it. But at first, I technically just gave you a tiny bit of misinformation. I think firstly as well, I just need to say that I have only done research on this today. I've read a lot of stuff. I've looked into legal language, but there is a possibility that I may spread misinformation live on stream today. So may I just encourage you to do your own research and to be aware that my comprehension of this subject matter is not complete. And that was a wonderful freeze frame. Just so you know, every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, my camera will do that. It'll do a little catch me out, being and then it will resume. So Yes, so the title of the video, I'm no longer a woman, is clickbait, and you fell for it. No, but it is certainly is clickbait, but it is also true because I am legally no longer defined as a woman. So I'm not a woman, you guys. How are my fellow biological males in the chat feeling about all this? How are we feeling? I love being no longer legally a woman. Yeah, so I have so many feelings about this, you guys. So truly, so many feelings. Lot of feelings. Yeah. We're gonna get into it, but firstly, earlier I said that the Equality Act no longer includes trans women. From what I understand, that is incorrect. I need that little image from my dream video that's like me when I purposely spread misinformation on the internet. From what I understand, in this ruling, they have made it very, very clear that trans women are still protected and that we are still protected from discrimination. However, we are not legally women, and we cannot legally be women. So, yes. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna dive back into the comments, and we can process it. And you know, if we're not having a very good time talking about it, we can talk about something else. Yeah. I've been wanting to discuss more political themes, and this was one of those moments though where it was like, it's happening. So let's just jump on live and just have a little chat about it. But yes, yeah, Hassan who? I'm gonna take over the political commentary space. But yeah, anyway, we'll see. We might do some of this. We might not. I don't know. Someone said post-op equals post-gender, period. Absolutely. Assign Flint Tepper. Oh, Sophie, I'm gonna scream. That was clever. That was actually really clever. Well played for that. I thought that you were an AFAB trans mask. Can you imagine? I can imagine. I used to talk about how when I originally wanted to transition, it was to have a different relationship with masculinity. And it's funny because these days I honestly would put myself more in the hyper feminine camp. I would describe my presentation as hyper feminine most of the time, but I have come to realize that like what is hyper feminine to me as an assigned male at birth person is not hyper feminine to a lot of people who are, for example, raised in a very feminine environment. And I will often kind of giggle because oftentimes I'll see people who are socialized in a more feminine way post about like feeling so masked today, and they're just wearing like trackies and a t-shirt, and I'm like, mama, that is not my idea of mask. So also I've come to understand that we have very different ideas of what is feminine and mask in the queer community, and that's okay, and that's all right. Loris Tyrell, firstly, fantastic name. Justice for House Tyrell. Don't even get me started. Says, I love your t-shirt. Thank you. I love this shirt too. It's so shameless of me, but I ContraPoints wore it in a video, and I'm never going to beat the budget ContraPoints allegations. I've just adopted them. That's what we are. But I saw it and I was like, I want it and I need it. So I bought it. I see it. I want it. I want it. Yeah. Sophie says today's news kind of makes me want to not move to London anymore. Girl, don't do it. Don't do it. It makes me not want to live in London anymore. And I was talking to my boyfriend today about how he needs to learn French ASAP because as much as France is fucked up, it's better than here and we need to get out. So peut-être on va déménager à France. Déménager à France. But probably, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. UK sucking major balls. Truly. Correct. And absolutely. Um, Somebody asked, what are the consequences of the Supreme Court ruling? So this has been one thing that I think people have been struggling to, like, all of the media articles are very doom and gloom, which is understandable. It's definitely scary. But if you sit and look at the practical, like what I think the best thing for us to do is to sit and actually say, okay, yeah, what are the consequences? And let's process those consequences. So, from what I understand, from what I am aware, and again, my understanding of this is not complete, but the Supreme Court ruling creates a precedence that single-sex spaces are allowed and perhaps even defaulted to refusing trans women. That is the predominant consequence. What this means in practice is that there is pressure to change legislation around the Equality Act. That has not happened yet. And it means that single-sex spaces may ban trans women. This is not a guarantee. Their single-sex spaces do not have to ban trans women. This is not enshrined in law, in the sense that if you were to go to a women-only gym as a trans woman, you may absolutely be still allowed and still able to access those services, but it does mean that that business now is also allowed to say, this is a single-sex space, which means that you as a trans woman are not allowed access. Now, this always only applied to transgender women who had a gender recognition certificate. Now, I don't have one of those. So this is one thing with this entire ruling. Like, this entire ruling is about trans women who have a GRC. I've never had a GRC. I could never have a GRC. I've never even wanted a GRC. But if I did want a GRC, I could go out and get one. But I don't have a GRC. So for me, when I saw this ruling, I was like, this is devastating and terrible, but this also never applied to me. I have never been a trans woman with a GRC. So from that angle, for me, I'm a little bit like, well, obviously I feel immensely for my trans sisters who do have GRCs and who this will have an effect on, could have an effect on. And I also just empathize with the overall feeling of anxiety that this has produced. But yeah, I don't have a GRC anyway, so this entire ruling technically never applied to me. A gender recognition certificate is hard to get. It's a pain. You have to have witnesses. It's like a signed document. It's a whole thing. And for me personally, I was always a little bit like, girl, I can't be arsed with this. Like, I actually only found out the other day that it's very weird because I'm technically legally female in terms of my passport and in terms of like 99% of my paperwork, but I recently found out the other day that like part of me is legally still male according to the UK government. So for example, with HMRC and taxes, I'm legally male because I don't have a gender recognition certificate, but my passport is female. So I'm like, my driver license is female. So this makes no sense to me. I find the UK gender system to be already extremely goofy. Like, it's a goofy system. So I can look at all of this and say, not ideal, frightening, scary, not thrilled, etc. However, I'm already a man when I pay my taxes, apparently. So there's that. So yes, there's already this question of like, let's say I go into a women-only gym and are they going to ask me for a GRC? I don't know. Most likely not. So yeah, there's already been a lot of controversy around female as in biological sex, turfy female, single sex gym opening. There is a gym opening, I believe, in London. It's been super controversial. And I wouldn't be going there anyway. So for me personally, I don't really see myself accessing single sex spaces. And I just want to be really clear that I'm not saying any of this to dismiss the way that this is scary for lots of us right now. Yeah. A Sylvester says, the government of my place of residence says trans and non-binary people don't exist, but me, an anarchist, says, joke's on you, your constitution is meaningless to me. I was literally just having this conversation with my boyfriend before this stream because as an anarchist, for me, I'm like, I don't really care if I'm a man when I pay my taxes. Like, the entire institution of government to me is something I don't really subscribe to, at least philosophically, because we're not doing the whole, what is it called? The citizen something, free citizen, the American thing where you like, I'm not paying my taxes because I don't recognize the government, and then you go to jail. We're not endorsing that. Don't do that. Don't Kent Hovind yourself with that. I don't know if anyone is getting any of these references, but don't Kent Hovind yourself. That said, philosophically, ideologically, like as an anarchist, this was another thing with the GRC. I don't need the government to tell me I'm a woman. I don't need sovereign citizens. Thank you, Laura Class Warfare. I don't need the government to like give me a piece of paper that's like, you're a woman. Okay, great. Who are you? I don't believe in you. So I'm already in this place where I'm like, there's something that can be a little bit comforting being an anarchist. Obviously, we have to deal with the practical implications of governments and laws, which can be frightening and scary, But as an anarchist, I'm like, girl, I don't need you to tell me I'm a woman. I don't need you to give me a piece of paper that tells me I'm a woman. This is partly why I've also not updated my birth certificate or my social security gender. You have to change your social security sex. I'm like, I've gone through and I've done the work to update my passport. I have parlayed with the government when it comes to my passport because that has a really strong material effect on my life. My social security can be male. My taxes, my HMRC account can be male. Girl. Sophie Berenu, it just feels like a French name. All the governments are goofy systems. Thank you. We need like an anarchist campaign that's like, this shit is goofy. This shit being the government is goofy. It's goofy shit. And we all put up with it. It's goofy. Obviously, we do not all put up with it, but you know what I mean. Utverkoop, which I am probably horribly pronouncing, says, I love your earrings. Are we planning to guillotine the Supreme Court? I don't even know if I could say that word on YouTube. No, I would never endorse violence of any kind. All violence is bad and unethical. And these are just wood pieces that I like wood with dangling metal bits. Phoebe G says, I'm sorry as well, because I feel like I'm way behind on the chat. I'm going to take this moment to catch up. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Thank you for the follow, Utverkoop. I don't know why I'm trying to do a Dutch accent on that. I have no idea. I always feel really guilty pronouncing names. I'm so sorry with the name pronunciations. Oh my god, it is Dutch! No way! I'm so smart. Which means discount. That's wonderful. Well, I love it. I think it's great. And also, well done for being Dutch. The Dutch, I love the Netherlands. I want to move to Amsterdam. Maybe I'll move to Amsterdam. I know the Netherlands has its problems. Yeah, anyway. VVG says, I saw a video about India Willoughby saying she's no longer allowed to claim she's a woman, so people are using the ruling to harass. I genuinely think one of the biggest and perhaps most scary consequences of the ruling is that it is going to embolden transphobic people to say, well, our government said you're not a woman. And again, I'm like, girl, I don't care what your government says, but it is unfortunate to see a bunch of very cringe people. Like, it's not spoken about enough, but very cringe movement celebrating this and seeing this as a license to be transphobic. That said, India Willoughby is absolutely allowed to claim she's a woman. It is not illegal to identify as a woman. That's not suddenly illegal in the UK. That's not what the ruling says. And the ruling clarifies that trans women are still protected in certain ways. One of the really weird aspects of the ruling is that it legally means that trans women can't be lesbians, which is fucking. I want to say it's hilarious, but it's not. It's extremely fucked up. Lower Class Warfare says, on a positive note, recently in Montana, Republicans flipped their votes in opposition to two anti-trans bills after a speech from a trans representative. Yes, I follow her. I'm forgetting her name right now, but I have been meaning to watch that speech. I've heard about this, and it is really cool, positive news. It would be so incredibly sexy for us to make human rights issues bipartisan. That would be really sexy of us. I would love to see that. Yes. Sorry, just reading. Have a little scroll through. Utver Coop says, if that's the case, how dare they claim that trans individuals are still protected under the Equality Act? Yeah, it's this really kind of shit double bind where, like, on one hand, they've enshrined that trans women can still be discriminated against specifically because of our trans identity, but then on the other hand, they've been like, but you're not women, and it's like, well, that's gonna cause some discrimination, bro. Yeah. BBG says, I've been having a hard time watching people cheering about this. Honestly, that's been the part that's like fucked me off the most. Is just seeing a bunch of like cringe, like people with their stupid fucking large gamete signs being so thrilled. And I'm like, Mama, you don't even know how to read. Just kidding. They do know how to read. Shouldn't be mean. But it's a little bit demoralizing. No, for sure. Yeah. Bobby K says, at this point, I'm praying the Welsh government do something different to combat this, but like not holding out hope. At least Cardiff has nice community groups. I had a trans friend in Cardiff telling me the other day about how Wales had this entirely unique kind of trans pathway that's gotten her HRT, which was really cool to hear. So, there are reasons to be hopeful. I feel like I've seen Wales do some really cool, really progressive things politically. I miss Cardiff. A little bit of Marceline lore is that I actually lived in Cardiff for 4 years. That's where I did my undergrad, and Cardiff is such a special city for me. It's very, very safe in my heart, and yeah, I miss it. I miss it. I'm an American, but my girlfriend is British. We're both trans. So I end up hearing about UK news as well. Now neither of us know where to move. Nervous laughter. That's so real. Because yeah, girl, same. Yeah, truly. Um, yes. Sophie says tattoo appointment in Germany when? No, but please, because I would really love that. Now Serenity says, I really loved your old video that dismantled the groomer myths. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love that old video too. Yeah, I was really proud of that video. That was a nice video. Um, yes, thank you. That's very sweet. I forget about my old videos. The other day somebody shared my old video about being sex critical, which I have to say more accurate than ever right now, because when they're like, "Oh yeah, the women is the protected class, but only for biological women." I was like, "Great, so I'm still protected then, as a biological woman. Thank you." So yeah, my video on sex critical, I feel like, is a little bit apt. That said, I watched it with abject horror when somebody shared it on Blue Sky, because I was like, "Girl, this is an old video, and I feel so uncomfortable about people watching this." But the message is good. Message is good. Someone Arc2 said, I thrive out of spite now. That's a great reason to thrive. Yeah, Hassan needs to notice you, please. Notice me, senpai. Yeah. Oh my god. Um, Clavis says, Mars, I have a response from one of my close friends from friends. If you wanted her take on the theme too, I would love all the takes. Absolutely. Anatolian Plum says your earrings are guillotines. That's amazing. What? No, they're just like totally little, like innocent little pieces of non-violent wood construction. I love these earrings. They are by far my favorite earrings that I wear, and I will bring them out with any excuse. Yeah, they go hard as hell. Thank you. I have to say, very big fan of these earrings. The next song doesn't want to play. She's like, you will have silence. Bobby K says, don't get me wrong, we're slightly better than England. Waiting lists are a lot shorter, etc. Glad you had a good time in Cardiff, though it's a really special place. I love Cardiff so much. My only resentment with Cardiff is that they opened up the cutest, most adorable, most sweet queer space like right after I moved. And I was like, how dare you? I thought they were guitars. That would also be pretty rad, to be fair. Yeah. Evelyn says, at least Ethel Kane is out here setting records. We love our girl Ethel Kane. I love her music so much. And yeah, she did set that record, didn't she? And that was very, very cool to see. I think about that that quote of hers that I quoted in the last video. I think about that so often. Yeah. I hope I never have the gall to speak on something that I have never experienced. All right, sometime soon it's gonna get dark enough that I need to put a light on, so hold me accountable if I haven't put a light on and I start slowly fading from view. Just catch me out on it and I will put a light on. Yeah. Wait, we're talking about cannibalism in the chat. Wait, how did that happen? Carrot chopper earrings. Exactly, Sylvester. Exactly. Sophie said, my city just elected an anarcho-socialist. What? Oh my god. Can I ask what city you live in? And obviously feel free to not share. No pressure. Anarchists against goofy government, please. Thank you. That's exactly you. That could actually, I think, be a good propaganda campaign. Yeah. Thank you for the follow, Becoming Kyle. I'm still drinking coffee. I should probably finish this. It's almost 8 p.m. As in the coffee. We're going to stream for a little while. They're just melon chopper guys. Don't worry. Exactly. Exactly. Alexis Vargas says, just arrived. What's with the title? So, I'm detransitioning. Just kidding. The UK did a ruling today that trans women are not women. So, I am happy to announce live on stream that I am henceforth an alpha male, and I'm going to be rebranding as the new Andrew Tate. Just kidding. I shouldn't even joke about that. Gross. Anyway, I'm not detransitioning, and I'm not entering the manosphere. Although, unless would be such a fun undercover moment. Would be kind of cool. But yes, So we've just been having a little, we've just been kind of processing. We've just been processing. We're talking about it. We're processing. Um, yeah. Joey says stuff. I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Baby, pick a platform. You don't need to do both. I'm okay. My numbers are good. I'm fine. You're so funny. Yeah, so that's the title. I'm sorry, the title was a little bit clickbaity. I apologize. I'm trying to seduce the algorithm. I'm trying so hard. I've been wooing her for years. And I guess she just doesn't like nice biological males, apparently. Nevertheless, we persist. The algorithm has a gender. I like just picturing the algorithm as this feminine entity that I must woo and seduce, because she's so far she has resisted every effort at seduction. Not to be a raging misogynist. Bobby Cade says it opened as in Queer Emporium in Cardiff just after I moved out too. Why did they do that to us? It's such a cool space, and every time I'm in Cardiff, I make sure to stop in and buy a little something. I love it. There's so much. Atom Fellows. Hello, Atom. How are you? Thank you for stopping by the stream today. Also, just a phenomenal creator, everyone. Just a little shout out. You should definitely go and subscribe, because so incredibly talented and just wonderful. Anyway, says, hey Marceline, hope you're holding up. I've been reassessing my entire creative philosophy due to all this noise, and have decided to be as in your face cringe about my transness from here on out. And I love that for you, and I feel inspired by that. And yeah, just embrace the cringe, girl. Sorry, I did not mean to turn it off, but I feel like it keeps, I keep like the volume keeps creeping up, but I'm probably just okay. Yeah, that's about good. Okay. A little bit more. Okay. I love some in your face cringe transsexuality, and I think that the world needs it, and it's good for the world. So much of I was talking with a friend about this today, about just how like people need to fucking get with the cringe, put the disgust response away. Like, why is all of fascism disgust response? And the next video will be diving into that a little bit more. But anyway, being cringe is praxis, basically. I'm also I feel like I'm in a very similar place with content creation and like creativity. I just want to be here, and I just want to stop overthinking it so much, because so much of my time as a creator has been so curated and filtered, and I just, to be fair, I do have a disability called OCD, and I do overthink everything, and that can make content creation difficult. But I started a TikTok a couple months ago, and I was like, I've always found like this type of short form content cringe. That's not a judgment statement on anyone who creates it. I consume it. I love it. But when I create it, I'm cringing at myself. And I've been like, fuck it. Let's start making TikToks, push myself to push through and past the cringe, and just make stuff, like just make things. So I've been trying to really practice that ethos, and just and that's what I've been doing. So if you've been like seeing the shorts on the channel, because I've been posting a lot of my TikToks here as shorts, or if you have followed the TikTok, firstly, I'm sorry. Oh my god, I literally said that it was gonna freeze on the worst frames, and it certainly did. My camera's like, let me bring you closer to ego death here, and thank you, camera. Thank you for that. I'm appreciative. But yeah, I'm so down for cringe, and I'm so like, oh my god, Dylan Mulvaney has been talking about her cringeness lately, and I've been inspired by it. I appreciate how she's like, I'm a little bit cringe, and that's okay. And you're allowed, like, you hate the cringe, but that's not a reason to bully me and be unkind to me and legislate me out of existence. So yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm trying to do more, just doing things, putting things out there, doing art, throwing stuff to the wind and getting it wrong, and saying embarrassing shit and making messy art, and just, yeah, that's where I'm at, and that's where I want to be. I'm also just like, I'm so over trying to like project a perfect femininity, and I think a lot of trans girls go through this like early in transition. And to be clear, I'm still early in transition, but we often try to project a like heavily a soft and inobtrusive and inoffensive femininity, and I'm like, fuck that, let me show the fuck up. So that's what we're doing. My early video essays last year, I had just started vocal training. I was not like, I was very insecure about it all, but it was so like, I just have to get to this point where I can present this like perfect version of myself while the camera's rolling. RuPaul reference here. If the camera's not rolling, but very much like, I have to be perfect for this 45-minute video essay. And then when the camera's off, I get to be queer and loud and abundant. And I don't really think that's super vibey. I want to be loud and abundant and queer, and not have to present this soft academic, which I was really trying to be in my Fascism of Common Sense video. Especially, I was like, let me be cis for this video. Let me just be a little cis girl talking about philosophy. Should we put on a light? It's getting a little dark. It's kind of like flattering dark, but it's like, I'm starting to fade away. Okay, I'm sorry, I've been out of the chat. Let's get back in here. Let's get back in here. The UK is just like this because of 1,000 years of sexual repression. It's okay. One day maybe they'll figure out how to become Commie Orgy Island or something. Listen, that is my praxis. That is my goal in life. That is my praxis. That is my life's ambition, is to help the UK become Commie Orgy Island. Please. Please. Yeah. Nasrendi says your videos are top notch. Thank you, Nasrendi. That's very nice of you. Just gonna disappear. Clickbait title. Ayo. Listen, yes, it's a little bit clickbaity, but also technically I am legally no longer a woman. So it's only a little bit clickbait. Love your content, by the way. Thank you, Kimberly. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, really appreciate it. I'm gonna turn on a cute little demure light here. Do bear with. It's gonna probably launch very aggressively, and we'll fine tune it together. Oh, the light's not plugged in. Why am I being like I'm in a pantomime? The audience is supposed to be like, Oh no! Plug in the light. Sorry, I've had a lot of caffeine today. I did warn you. Okay. Maybe here. This is good. This is cozy. I want to I want a cozy stream. Also, I'm sorry. I feel like my knee is up against my desk and I feel like I'm like keep bumping the camera a little bit. So I apologize. Nasrendi says I have OCD as well. I'm so sorry, Nasrendi. I'm so sorry. Yeah. OCD. It certainly exists. Muir Rum says, any advice for eggs? So I like mine fried. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm sorry. That was really stupid and not funny. I've been asked to give advice on being an egg before, and I've struggled a little bit with this because I didn't really have an egg phase. I swear to God, the sound just creeps up and gets louder. Anyway, so if you don't know what an egg is a trans slang term for a closeted trans woman, stereotypically a closeted trans woman who is showing signs of femininity or womanhood, but is not ready to come out. Yeah, so I didn't have a closet stage when it came to gender. I was in the closet, and wasn't in the closet very long as a queer person either. I was in the closet for about literally maybe 6 months to a year when I was 17, and then came out as a gay man, then came out as a bisexual man, then I came out as non-binary, and then now, as we discussed earlier in the stream, I am a boring woman, and or an alpha male, depending on your politics. And yeah, so sorry, I'm rambling. I didn't really have an egg phase, so I can't give you advice from experience. But I do think something that I've told, if you were my bestie, because I've had some girlies who I'm friends with IRL come to me and be like, girl, I'm thinking about starting HRT, but I'm nervous and I'm quite scared. And my advice has always been, this feels like such a fucking, I'm not grooming you, I promise, but HRT is reversible up to a month. Girl, get on it. See how it goes, and you can get off. It's obviously more complicated if you're not in a surrounding that is safe for you to be out and live authentically as a trans woman. Then that's a lot more complicated. And the only advice I have is kind of depressing, but it's like, just try to move, try to make those arrangements. I know it can be so incredibly difficult and logistically impossible for a lot of people, but I say do try to make some moves to enter yourself into a space where you can be safe to be completely, unapologetically, 100% authentically yourself. And if you're scared about HRT, that is reversible. Obviously, not assuming whether you want to medically transition at all, but HRT is reversible up to 1 month. That's not like an absolute medical statement, but generally speaking, for the most part, you can do a month on HRT and stop. So when I started HRT, I was like, let me just like be so goofy and just like try it for a month and see what happens. And then I was like, oh yeah, okay, well, and here we are. Sophie says people on social media are so full of shame, just be cringe. 100%. Yes. 100%. Live a Lot says, I've started blogging to try and deal with stuff and get over seeing that stuff as cringe. And I think that's a wonderful. And I've been seeing you posting them and I really want to read them. They look really, really cool. Yeah. Cringe is so based, says Kimberly. And yes, absolutely. 100%. Anything that's innovative is going to be cringe at some point at its early life. Well said, Kimberly. Well said. Pretentious and cringe are words made up by losers too afraid to express themselves. I think there's a lot of truth to that. Yeah. Sometimes the word pretentious has its place. Yeah, but we're not totally agree. 100%. Make the content, be the cringe you wish to see in the world. Yes. Yeah, totally. Sophie says trans femmes on Insta bullying other girls for not passing. Like, bitch, that's not the vibe. T, we do not vibe with that at all. That is not it at all. I feel like 90% of discourse around passing is just toxic as fuck. Just like being entrenched in a deeply toxic narrative. Yeah. Yes. T-girls be like, I know a place and then take you to Kami Orgy Island. Oh my god, incredible comment. Sophie, you've had some bangers today. Lower Class Warfare says genius clickbait. Obviously, duh. Thank you. I honestly had fun cooking up the clickbait for today. I was like, tee, because it's true. It's a true statement. I'm literally not even lying at all. But yeah, it's obviously a little bit clickbaity. Phoebe Jesus, how has no one mentioned how cute your sleeves are? Thank you. When I buy a t-shirt, I pretty much always do this cut on them. So this is my, I cut up almost every single thing that I buy. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably, we could root it to ADHD somehow, but yeah, I fucking hate t-shirt sleeves. I don't like t-shirt sleeves. They're not flat, they're ugly. Anyway. I have strong feelings about t-shirt sleeves, okay? I don't like them. So I do this little cut to make them a little bit nicer. Bobby K says it's behind you. And I have no idea what you're referring to because I'm probably way behind in the chat, but that's terrifying. And please do let me know if something is behind me. Okay, I love to be super grandiose and pretend that I'm a celeb and like some famous artiste. And I know that probably nobody cares, but I'm a little foreshadowing, preview, little preview for the next video. If you want to watch Uzumaki, if anyone has seen Uzumaki, so I'm working with another writer for the next video. I've never done this before, but I'm really excited about it. It's another trans girly, and she is super smart. And we've cooked up some really cool stuff, and I'm really excited about it. But there's been moments where it's like she has all these references, and I have all these references, and so we're kind of like, I'm having to like watch the stuff she's watched. And one of the things that she wanted to write about for the new video is Uzumaki. And so I watched Uzumaki. And I've been like, in general, watching a lot of horror for the new video. Not gonna give away what it's about, but Um, my reading, I've had a long reading list and I've had a long viewing list. Usually for my videos, it's just a reading list, but I've been watching a lot, and a lot of it has been horror. So receiving the message "it's behind you" is ill-timed because I'm scared for my life already. And I have to say, watching Uzumaki, very creepy show. I loved it, but so creepy. And I have obsessive compulsive disorder, as we've mentioned in this chat, and not it is not OCD friendly, because every time I see a spiral now, I'm like spiraling and having a bad time. Anyway, I'll stop with the references. I don't know if anybody's seen this. Joey Seth, who, by the way, is my boyfriend, so to contextualize this, says, if you're no longer a woman, am I legally gay? And yes, you are. Congratulations, you're legally gay. Yeah. Yeah. It's true. You are. And all of the things I have going on with girls are now legally, enforceably heterosexual. So if any girls want to be very heterosexual with me, maybe we could, be gal pals and have some heterosexual moments together. If anyone's interested. Crazy that I cannot legally be a lesbian anymore. Like, can I legally be bisexual? Asking the real heavy hitting questions right now. But like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Sorry. Dumio wants to see a close up of the earrings. These are to cut carrots or melons. As we've mentioned on the Twitch streams, which if you are watching this on YouTube and you're not used to my streams, I stream every single Wednesday evening on Twitch. And I will not be streaming all of my streams onto YouTube. I do YouTube streams. I love them. Sometimes I want to play some Baldur's Gate 3, and this doesn't really feel like the space for that on YouTube. So, yeah, if you want to come along to those every Wednesday night. Yeah. Where was I going with this? But yeah, on Twitch, we were talking about, oh shit, I've lost it. We were talking about, I don't know, something about not guillotines, which these are not. Anyway, I've had a lot of coffee and my brain is frazzled and all over the place. So yes, they are guillotines. One of my favorite little symbols. And while I'm doing shameless plug of my internet presence, I have to just say, you're all held hostage here, so I can do this. But if you like this totally nonviolent political symbol, one of my emotes as part of my YouTube membership and as part of my Twitch membership, you can get this as a little emote. I had custom emotes designed, and the artist who made them, I think, did a really good job. They're really like cute and retro-y, and so you have there's a little emote of these, and you get them from subscribing on Twitch and from joining as a member on YouTube. I will always say there is no pressure to do any of these things, but as somebody currently forced to participate in the capitalist system, I'm currently not able to do my creative work full time, which means that I have to be annoying about plugging the financial aspects of this work. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, YouTube are currently offering me, this is very shameless of me, but listen, I'm a starving artist. YouTube are currently offering me £5 for every person who joins my YouTube membership right now. So if you literally join just for this month and join at the lowest tier possible, I'm going to get £5 for every single person who does that, up to a maximum of £500, which for me is like so much money. So if anybody is down to do that, it would be really nice, but only if you have the money and if it's not hurting you financially and there is zero pressure. But you get cute little guillotine emotes, so you know, it has some perks. I'm aware that I don't give like the best of perks from my membership programs, for my Patreon or for YouTube memberships, and it's something I want to workshop, but I'm so anarchist about it all that I don't want to be capitalist about it. I don't want to sell you like a 1 hour Skype session with me. That's what so many other content creators do, and that's like no judgment to that either, whatever. Like, I respect how we are all surviving in this world, but I'm always like, yeah, I guess like if you want to support me and like, I don't know, but like, yeah, so anyway, I don't know. I'm a bad capitalist, surprisingly. Yeah. Anarcho-Yorpism says, love this stream, aspire to be a transsexual anarchist menace. Girl, join the Transsexual Anarchist Menace Club. We're happy to have you here. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I feel like I'm not keeping up super well with the chat. Joey Sev says, are you going to game tonight? I am not. Tonight is going to just be a hangout / processing stream. Yeah, that's what we're doing today. That is all that we are doing today. If you do want to see me play video games, you will have to follow me over on Twitch. That is where that will be happening. I will not be sharing that on YouTube. Yeah, I was actually really excited. So let me just nerd out for 2 seconds, but I'm really, really excited to start a new Baldur's Gate 3 campaign because they've just released patch 8, and I am so excited to try out a Shadow Sorcerer. I literally cannot wait. And I had originally planned to stream that tonight. We were going to be playing some Baldur's Gate 3, but then all of this political stuff happened today, and it was like, I was just processing it all day, and I was like, and then I also realized I never did my usual promised post video essay live stream, which I felt a bit bad about. Don't know why I didn't do it this time. Anyway, I've been a little bit off my game because I got life-altering surgery, and life-altering surgery altered my life, and recovery has been really challenging, so I just haven't really been quite on my creative shit as much as I would like to be. I have made a lot of progress with the next script, but it is probably going to be close to a 4-month gap between the last video essay, and I try to do a 3-month gap between. Yeah, also just like, I don't know if anybody cares about this, but if you're not familiar with my schedule, I usually try to do a long form video essay every 3 months and a live stream in between. So that's usually my content schedule, and in practice, the last year, it has mostly been a video essay every 4 months. But in my defense, I've been going through major life-altering events and transition and things, and I've been doing my best. And so, but I'm really, really hoping, honestly, I'm trying to put the pieces together to try to go full-time with the creative stuff, because that would be so cool, and hopefully mean that I could also be a little bit more diligent with my schedule. Anyway, sorry. Oh my goodness. TJ, hello. TJ says, firstly, hi. Your profile photo is so small, but yeah, I'm recognizing who you are, and I have not seen you or spoken with you in so long. It's so nice to see you here. Says, and when are we playing Baldur's Gate 3 together, Miss Ma'am? And listen, I would love that so much. I was literally just thinking the other day that I really miss our live streams together, and I think it would be so cute to do that. I'm there. I'm so into it. Please. Yeah, that would be so nice. Yeah. We used to do these live streams way before I transitioned with TJ and a few other content creators, and it was such a cute time. And then we just totally like have not spoken in years, and it's sad. Anyway, thank you for the follow, Trixie stuff. Thank you so much. And also there was I apologize because there was a thing that just came up over here. There was like a big heart. I don't know what that was. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it meant. But thank you for doing it. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for whatever that was and whatever it meant. I think it was really nice of you. And I'm so sorry that I don't know what that was. I was slightly distracted. I am so like, sometimes I think I'm too ADHD to stream because I'm always like in 5 different places, and you know, we're doing our best. But yeah, thank you for whatever that was. Yeah, appreciate it. I'm an embarrassment. Also, I need to work on like my alerts and the follower moments and the cheers and stuff. I've been meaning to set aside some time to workshop it, and I just keep streaming without workshopping it. We're gonna get there. Yeah. Loris Tyrell says they don't believe in bisexuality either. No, they do not. We do not exist. We are simply mythical. Oh my God. Someone says, wait, hear me out. Illegal lesbianism, it sounds like it goes crazy. No, but you're so right. And when they make our identities illegal, they just become like cool and sexy and radical, even more cool and sexy and radical. So I have to say, like, the whole court ruling, it's awful and sick and grim. But even with because as I was saying earlier, I don't have a GRC, so I'm legally female in terms of immigration only. Really, I don't have legal female recognition here, and there is something powerful to me sometimes about getting to show up to spaces and being like, hi, I'm that biological male you legally said was biologically male. So, you know, hi, this is what you wanted. And just making people uncomfortable. It's great. It's fun. But obviously, that's me having a glamorized and super positive interpretation of damaging and shitty laws. And I'm not trying to downplay any of it. Just that sometimes it's cool to be able to subvert expectations. And what's the one thing that fucking gets me with this whole thing is that they've just legally told me that I'm not a woman. And like just 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, I was on the phone with my GP being like, hey, I really need gynecological services. Like, can you please get me seen? Like, not to overshare, but having like some very, very minor challenges with recovery. And the sheer irony of having to be like on call after call trying to get seen by a gyno. And by the way, any gyno would be able to help me, but they're all refusing me because I'm trans. And they're like, well, we're not specialized with post-op like trans pussy. And can I say that? And the sheer irony of like being on my fucking knees begging for gyno services, which I desperately need as part of my biological womanhood, and then having the UK government be like, you're a man and you're not biologically female, and you know, and I'm not like, none of this is meant to be like at all like a pick me as well, because like it's all super duper extremely fucked even without my own personal need for biologically female services. It's horrible. But I just found it slightly ironic that I'm like Hi, can I please be seen by a gyno? And the UK government's like, you're not a woman. And I'm like, well, phenomenal freeze frame. Um, UK. Food Fair Coop says, I recommend reading Junji Ito instead of watching the show. And I've heard that from a couple people, and I do need to read it. I've just been like, I have such a huge reading list for the new video, and to be completely honest, I'm not even gonna get to it before I finish the script. So it's been nice for me to watch stuff because I have a miserable dilation schedule, and it's really nice for me to have stuff that I can watch while I'm dilating, if you know what any of that means. And if you don't worry about it. Um, Bobby K says it was just when you mentioned Panto. That makes so much sense. Sorry, majorly rewinding the entire chat, but the look behind you moment, that makes sense. That makes sense, Bobby. Thank you for clarifying that. Um, Sylvester says, I just arrived back from vacuum cleaning. Did we lose any other genders while I was away? Girl. Um, Chad Oldham says, how did you deal with fear in the early stages, as in the early stages of transition? Um, I have to say it was hard. It was very, very hard. The hardest thing for me was leaving the house. And this is something I think that like this is the one thing that most cis people will never understand. Many queer people who are cis will understand if they have been gender nonconforming at any point in their life, but there is nothing like the fear to leave your own house that so many people take for granted, and that's really really hard. And yeah, I had a lot of fear about HRT as well. It's like sometimes I forget about that these days, and like yeah, if I were to really focus in on my first year on HRT, there was a lot of fear. And I had fear with a lot of projected, instilled, like externalized fear of regret, because you hear that so much around trans um, experiences, that what if you regret it, and you start to internalize it and you think, what if I do regret it? And I had a lot of that with um with bottom surgery as well. My mother asked me the other day, she's like all giddy and eager, she's like, do you regret it yet? She wants me to say yes, and I'm like, no, I don't actually. But fear is something that can be really difficult to navigate with transition. I had a wonderful therapist, have technically, because I still see them sometimes, but I have a wonderful therapist who is trans and who helped me so much with processing fear, helped me work on body neutrality, which as a feminist concept can be really helpful, especially early in transition, and helped me work through a lot of stuff to get to where I needed to get to be able to live and do transition, which is hard, which is difficult. Anyway, hopefully that answers your question. Sorry if that was a little bit depressing. Yes. Sorry, I feel like I may have missed quite a few chats. So if there's anything that I haven't responded to that you'd like me to respond to, please feel very welcome to just post it again. Yeah. Doom Noodle says, is egg trans woman exclusive? I thought it applied to all trans people. Everything I have ever known about the term egg is that it is trans woman exclusive. But I don't know that for sure. So I'm not an absolute authority on trans issues, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Um, yes. Kosorel says, I'm 20 and I decided to live truly to myself. So I will have started HRT in 2 weeks because I don't want to regret not starting it sooner. Congratulations on starting HRT. I hope it goes well. Hope you have a good experience. And I am proud of you for choosing to live your truth. Utfer Coop says that the show Uzumaki does a disservice to the manga. I would love to hear how, if you could just briefly summarize it, because that genuinely might be useful to me. But if I get the chance, I will try to read it. Yeah, is it like long? I have never actually read a manga before, I'm realizing. Yeah. Your girl is truly media illiterate. I am like, I could compete for most media illiterate YouTuber of all time. And it's probably not the best for a critical theory girl who constantly advertises, be informed, be informed, be informed. Meanwhile, me having never read a book or watched any TV ever. Anyway. Yes. Pickled cucumber. Wonderful username. I'm horrified at this discrimination in 2025. It's a scary and stressful time. I feel kind of bombarded on all sides because I'm a United States citizen, trans woman who is living on Turf Island, and I'm like, girl, can I catch a break? Like, immigrating to a place that's discriminating against me, came from a place that's discriminating against me, like, what can we do? Yeah, thank you for the cheer, Nazrindi. Have some bits. Thank you for all your content on Nazrindi. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Thank you. I had set things up to where when you cheer, it's supposed to be read out by this like French robot lady named Celine, and she's just stopped reading them out. So I'm sorry you did not get your message read out. I will try to fill in for her. Have some beats. Thank you for all your I apologize. Let me just never be online ever again. Yeah. Frog Dude. Another fantastic username. Fantastic usernames in the chat tonight, everyone. Well done. Frog Dude says, do you have a GRC? It's fucked that they don't recognize them anymore. No, I don't. I've never had a GRC, and it's one tiny little thing with this whole thing where I'm like, well, I was never protected by any of this stuff anyway, but it's still extremely awful, and it still absolutely may end up impacting me and affecting me in various ways. But there's this part of me, like, to be very clear, I don't mean to be dismissive of like all my girlies who do have GRCs who like might be more directly impacted, but there's this part of me that's like, I actually started an application for a GRC last week, and there's this tiny part of me that's like, well, at least I don't have to finish my application. But I had mostly decided not to even pursue finishing that application because it was such so much bureaucratic faff that I was like, I can't be arsed with this. So I just kind of gave up on it, to be honest. So I'm a man. And that's that. Frog Dude says, I hate this country. I don't know what to do. And me too, girl. Me too. I'm gonna move to France, maybe. Or maybe we could all start like a little, like, cute little anarchist commune somewhere. Maybe, you know. Kosorel says, just saw a chaser comment. Chaser alert under a selfie post and are so transpositive, and I don't feel good. We don't love that. We don't love that. TJ says, illegal lesbian is begging for merch to be made. And so true. Oh my God. Okay, we have to do it. We have to do it now. I don't care. I'll find the time. We have to do it because that's kind of incredible. Um, yeah. Oh my God. I need that. Lesbians got up to a bunch of cool radical shit in Nazi Germany when it was illegal. Yeah, it's like almost like taking away our freedoms motivates us to mobilize. It's almost like that. Oh my God, Nasrindi using my little rose emote. I never see my emotes get used, so thank you for using it. Some of my emotes are so random, by the way, and I don't even know what to tell you about them. Like one of them is just like a cat skull because I like cat skulls. Listen, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You're welcome, is what I'm gonna tell you. You're welcome. Because you can post cat skulls, so you're welcome. You're welcome. Um, oh my God, we got a 50-pound super chat. Thank you so much, Diogenes. I'm sorry I did not acknowledge that when it happened. I'm a little bit behind on the chat. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for that. That's so extremely kind of you. Diogenes in the super chat says, hang on. So trans women can be excluded because some women are uncomfortable around them. What does this mean for people who are uncomfortable because I'm autistic and non-conforming, weird, etc.? I am banned from public life soon. Mama, it's really, truly scary and awful. And I feel like so much it makes me think of the old like ugly laws that the United States used to have. The United States used to have a law that you could not be in public if you were ugly. And slightly more specific than that, but often targeted at people with physical deformities and disabilities. And it feels like this a little bit, like just like they want to eliminate people who are in a minority who are a little bit different because of their own personal little disgust responses, because of their own discomfort. And it is horrifying and extremely, extremely awful. Diogenes, I just want to give you a hug. Girl, we're gonna figure it out and we're gonna be okay. We're not gonna get banned from public life. We're gonna show the fuck up and we're gonna be weird and make people feel uncomfortable. We're gonna make people feel so uncomfortable. People need, as we've been discussing throughout the stream, if there's a theme of this stream, people need to get over their fucking disgust response and their discomfort and their shame. Period. Lower class warfare, thank you for the super chat. Oh my God, thank you guys for the super chat. To the carrot choppers operators retirement fund. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's very kind. I know I've been plugging a lot of like monetization things, but yeah, I just want to stress you're never pressured to support the work that I'm doing financially. And please, please look after yourself and your financial well-being and your physical well-being before you feel, a strong obligation to support me in the work that I'm doing. And I'm frequently plugging these like monthly donation ways that you can support me, but I do also have a Ko-Fi I set up the other day because someone asked me to. So also don't feel obligated to be giving me a portion of your income every month because that's big. That's a big investment. Blazer Trail says, sorry, just joined. What's up with the title? And I was so, yeah, it's going to be happening all stream. But the title is a little bit clickbaity, but it's also technically true legally. As of today, the United Kingdom Supreme Court has ruled that I am legally not a woman, that trans women are legally not women. And so today in our stream, I feel like my room just got brighter. In today's in today's stream, I'm so sorry. My brain is all over the place. In today's stream, we have been processing, we've been discussing, we've been discoursing, we've been plotting. And we're just working through this landmark historical event, how we feel about it. Spoiler, not good. Um, but trying to like just have a little positivity, create a little bit of hope as well. But that's what's up with the title. I, for the record, am not detransitioning, but legally, I am no longer recognized as a woman, and I am now legally an alpha male. Legally. It's me. Hi, it's me. Says, when you started voice training, have you felt like you're doing it wrong or frustrated / annoyed with your voice? Girl, so much. So very much. Voice training is so fucking weird. The voice training really pushes you towards ego death. If you don't have a performing arts background or a singing background, voice training is so fucking weird. To the performance arts girlies, to the singers out there, you kind of know the gig. You're used to doing shit like this. I was a little bit lucky, but I still found it very difficult. Marceline Lore Drop. Sorry, it's such a weird mood today. Marceline Lore Drop. I used to do musical theater back in the day, so I've done weird like performance art shit. I'll never forget my first festival, my first musical theater, or sorry, just regular, my first theater festival I did called Dare Festival. Just like we're doing fucking like animal noises and weird shit, so like you get over it helps you like overcome the cringe factor, and then also as in musical theater you have to train your voice. So I was already a little bit used to like doing weird voice things like that type of shit. So I had that slight advantage. Nevertheless, I still found it horrifying. I still found it horribly cringe and uncomfortable. And it's really hard when you live with people because you're like in your bedroom, like, hi, my name's Marceline. Hi, my name's Marceline. And, like, you just feel so embarrassed. And it's challenging. It's hard. Voice training is hard, but I also will say that it is like one of the most rewarding things I have ever done for myself. And what's really cool is it's helped me be able to sing better, which I didn't expect, and it's been really nice. Hope that answers your question. Yes, I'm gonna sip some water, and then I'm gonna read through some more comments. It's come to my attention. I've only just realized that for those of you watching on Twitch, I don't know if I see when you redeem stuff. So if you've been redeeming stuff, I don't even know if I see that because of the way that I'm streaming on multiple platforms. So if at any point tonight, feel free to give me some feedback and just be like, girl, I felt ignored. I did not feel listened to or heard. I just want to optimize my streams and create a good vibe. Lower class warfare says +1 to the commune idea. Yeah, please. Diogenes says manly man. And it's true. Everyone tells me. Yeah. It really is true. Thank you, Scary Squishy, for the follow. Thank you so much for following. Greatly appreciated. A frog dude says, I want to move to Malta. I just need my dad to sort some paperwork because if he dies, the line will be broken and it will be a faff to get citizenship. I've heard great things about Malta and I am jealous. I wish that I had some European citizenship and I could flee to some ultra progressive little space. Not, I have no idea if Malta's ultra progressive, but I've heard some good things, and I hope that that works out for you. And yeah, that sounds really good. That sounds like a really good option. Nazrindy says skulls are awesome. They really are. Thank you. Thank you for rolling out the cat skulls in the chat. Um, TJ, you've probably already left, but goodbye. I'm sorry I didn't see your message. I'm sorry I didn't give you a proper goodbye. I think I already follow you on Twitch, but in case I don't, I will make sure that I do. And I would, yeah, anyway, you've probably left already. It's literally proto-fascism. I don't know. Oh, we're talking about the ugly laws. That's disgusting that there were ugly laws. It's fucking grim. And also just like, what do you mean? Like, so much. And the one thing that encourages me with a lot of this, right? The only thing that I can latch onto and be encouraged by is that so much of this stuff is impossible to police. So, albeit it is scary and we're allowed to be scared, we're allowed to feel sad, we're allowed to feel all the feelings that we feel, and no one gets to take that from us. But, however, I do feel that so many of these things are so devoid, so far removed from a lived experience. And in our lived experience, we do indeed get to be who we want to be. And that is not determined by a government. And yeah, it is scary. I saw a great post from Juno Dawson today that was like, to everybody who's, you know, struggling with everything going on and stuff, like, I encourage you to go out with your friends, have some tea, and be reminded of like who we are and the world we live in and our agency within the world, and appreciate that we are not determined by bureaucratic institutions. We do indeed exist outside of them. That's not to be naive or downplay the ways that bureaucratic institutions affect and limit and control our lives, because they do in many ways. And I don't want to go all the way to the other end where I'm like, oh, it's all fine. It's all sunshine and rainbows and nothing is bad and nothing, there's, you know, yeah. Yes. Kit bashing with Galaspar, hello, says, protest in London on Saturday. The fight back begins. You've heard it here. Protest on Saturday in London. So to any of my fellow UK girlies, anybody else who lives in London or is down to travel in, there is a protest on Saturday. I will try to look up the details of that and share it on my Instagram story after the stream. But that is great to know. And yeah, and we will fight back. And we certainly will fight back. And we can have a little bit of hope in that. And yeah. I'm very excited to have British citizenship, because then I get to start going to protests for the first time. I've never been to a protest before. Actually, that's not true. That's not true. I went to one trans-related protest. I protested outside one of the LGB Alliance conferences. But that's the only protest I've ever been to, and otherwise I'm very shy to go to them because I'm an immigrant, and I don't care what any leftist says. I that is my get out of protest free card, because I'm sorry, like, I can't risk being deported back to an even more fascist country where my safety is at risk. So I can't go, but it sucks because I would like to. I really would like to. And I'm hoping that once I have my citizenship, although they could revoke that too, that it will give me a little bit of security to be able to be more like direct action, like have that like political agency with direct action, because I know I've had people tell me like that my videos do help and they do have an impact, but I would like to be more involved. So Costa says, I'm just very glad I don't live in the USA. Me too. Me too. But I used to live in the USA and it was very difficult for me. Yeah. But yeah. I always have to be careful because I mean, I know I have a lot of followers who are American, but I also, obviously have spent most of my life in America and have a huge amount of friends and family who are American who are very important to me. And sometimes I can get quite complainy about America. And of course, most of those people complain about America too and are like fine with it. But also, I don't want to always just be like, oh yeah, America's like hell and it's awful to live there, because sometimes my American friends are like, yeah, but I live there. So like, can we not remind me or not be so negative about it? So um I I'm never going to be an ostrich girly. I'm never going to put the head in the sand. I'm always going to acknowledge the realities of the difficulties. But I like to be positive where and when I can. And I think that that is a useful energy in the world. Um, so Star says, I thought the US was going through shit, but the UK too. Shaking my head. Yes, ma'am. It is not named Turf Island for no reason, Miss Girl. It is the UK is so much worse than I think a lot of people realize, unfortunately. Gotta love it. Anyway, speaking of positivity, speaking of great, fun, sexy topics of conversation. Vi Eterna says, I find it kind of wild that you can set foot in one country and be considered a woman legally and yet be legally considered a man in another country. You talk about bullshit. Indeed. Indeed. There is if you're interested in this more on a philosophy level, I'm pretty sure every single live stream I have ever done, I mention on YouTube at least, I mention Mr. Paul Preciado, but his work on, how a government does not define a gender, does not define a sex, etc. His work on that is really good. And I find it as a transsexual anarchist myself, I find it very I find his work very soothing and very encouraging, and I take comfort in it. And he's actually releasing a new book soon, which I'm very excited for, and very high on my reading list once it comes out. I think it actually comes out this month. But he's great. His work is fantastic. And his work has defined so much of my videos, my creative work, and my writing. I love it. I love it. He's great. And that said, he has said some negative things about bottom surgery and surgery in general for trans people. And I so very much disagree with his writings on that. And I'm thinking about talking about that in the new video essay, hopefully coming out in like end of May, if I can get my shit together, girl. I really, really am hoping for that. But anyway, I'm kind of already, I do this thing with all my video essays where I'm like just cramming way too many things, and just the scope is always very much scoping and widening all the time, and always just like, but I want to talk about this anyway. So I'm trying to like figure out that balance. Oh my goodness, but yeah, thank you so much. Was that, so is the heart thing a super chat? Forgive me. Is that a super chat? I think it is. Bo Aya says, keep being yourself. We have had millennia of experience in surviving. Bo Aya, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. Yeah, so the heart's a super chat. Okay. We know that now. We know what that is now. I will absolutely keep being myself. And that is and everybody listen to Bo Aya, listen to that message. Keep being yourself. We have had millennia of experience in surviving. We will continue to survive. Yes, just excellent advice and very, very positive and nice little thing for you to say, Boya. Thank you. Scary Squishy says your voice is my peak goal. Thank you. That's a very sweet and very nice thing to say. Thank you. I still have a couple little cheeky voice insecurities that crop up here and there. But thank you for saying that. That's very kind. That's very nice of you. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Anyway, I can handle compliments. Frogdew says I can't be bothered to voice train, and let me just say that that is so very extremely valid. It's not something everybody wants to do, and it is certainly not something that you need or have or should feel at all obligated to do. And you love singing and don't mind your singing voice, which is great, which is wonderful. And yeah, there are so many trans artists, singers who just have such a phenomenal collection of gorgeous and beautiful voices. And I personally hated my singing voice before transition, but I also was just not a very good singer. So also voice training has been doubled as like training for singing, and that's been really, really cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Joey Stuff says I redeemed a talk French when you were being a French robot. Mais alors, désolé. J'ai pas vu. Mais je peux pas français maintenant, si vous voulez. Pardon pour le tutoyer. Peut-être je peux pas français, j'ai pas vu. Je sais pas pour dire. Yeah, I don't know. J'espère qu'il n'y a pas des personnes ici qui est français, parce que mon français, c'est dégueulasse en fait, c'est horrible. Mais je peux pas, je peux dire quelque chose. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop. If you're confused, on Twitch, people watching me on Twitch, and currently I'm streaming to both Twitch and YouTube, people watching me on Twitch, they get to like buy commands and they can make me do things. And evidently, using the service I'm using today, I don't see those commands. So I'm so sorry about that to anybody who's redeemed a command. The next time I do an only Twitch stream, I will see them, and I'm happy to give you extra points and to refund you. But yeah, they can get me to like drink water, stretch, speak French. So yeah, sorry if that was extremely random and weird and unhinged. Welcome to my streams. Yeah. Coasterell says, out of topic, but a few days ago I made the mistake and took a look at the 4chan side of trans Reddit. It was a traumatic experience. Would not recommend. Firstly, thank you for the follow. Your name has just disappeared, but thank you so much for the follow. Coasterell, don't do it. Don't go there. You don't need to be there. Listen, I've spent a lot of time on trans Reddit, as many of us do. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Zonzo happen. Yeah. Do not recommend. Boea says, we have been around for thousands of years and have often been discriminated against, but we are still here. Yes. Scary Squishy says, your videos about bottom surgery helped me get over some fears about the process. I was stressing at that time, so thanks for speaking about it. I'm so relieved to be on the waiting list now. Scary Squishy, I'm so glad to hear that. That makes me really happy, and wishing you all the very best. And yeah, you've got this, and I'm super duper happy for you. And also, I'm working on a super thorough guide right now to my experience with bottom surgery. It is going to get so intimate and so personal, and it is going to be so very public on the internet, and I am a little bit nervous about sharing it, but I would like to. I've never seen a review of bottom surgery experience as thorough as the one that I'm currently writing, and I just talking about getting over shame, getting over cringe. I think it may be helpful for some people. So hopefully I finish it in time for it to be useful for you. But if not, feel free to just message me and be like, hey girl, can I get the draft? I just need a little something here, because You might find it helpful, and you might absolutely not. Yes. Nazrindi says, I live in a red state in the US. It sucks, but I'm not going anywhere until I'm forced to. I'm just stubborn like that. And you have all of my respect for that. And I think it is so powerful to exist in a space that is at least politically hostile towards you, and often not physically hostile. Often red states, where there's a very strong aesthetic, but I have traveled across the United States multiple times. I have spent a huge amount of time in the US, and yes, most of the time in liberal states, but even like the part of California I grew up in is totally red, extremely red as red gets. I mean, Texas red. And people don't believe that that exists in California. Girl, it does. Uh, and so I am certainly familiar with being in red communities and towns, and I feel for you because it can be challenging, but also the actual practical reality of being in community with people who vote Trump and who vote against your rights is not the same as like a kind of online hyper online narrative. Um, like 9 times out of 10, you're like, "Hey Stacy, hey Bob, you're just living your lives," and it is one of the most powerful places you can exist is in a space that is hostile towards you, because your existence then is a super radical thing, and you are showing up and exemplifying to these people that people like you exist, and I think it's powerful, and I respect you for it. Scary Squishy says, can we start our own country that doesn't do bullshit? Or like, what the fuck already? Please. We need to start the commune, girl. We really do. It's Me says, I sent a voice message to my friend asking if I sound like a girl, and they said it didn't suit me and that doesn't sound authentic. I've heard that before. There is a lot of like people who know you, especially who know you before you transitioned, will often interpret you becoming yourself as inauthentic. And that's something that a lot of us experience. And they will say they interpret difference as inauthenticity. And I had so many people early in my transition tell me, this isn't you. I feel like I don't know you anymore. I feel like that you're being inauthentic. This isn't you. I want to see the real you. Just be yourself and all of this stuff. And the irony was that I was being myself. In fact, I was becoming myself, and I was becoming the most me I have ever been. But to others, to an external world, to an outside world, they will often interpret that as inauthenticity. I talked about this in one of my video essays, and girl, not to not even know my own work, but I don't remember which one it was. It might have been my video about ephemania, I mean, sorry. I'm not sure. But there's so much in trans discourse, and also just in generally when you are a minority, when you are different, when you are weird, there's so much conversation about inauthenticity. And as girl, put all of that on the owner of whoever is saying that it is inauthentic. You do not own that. That is not about you. That is about them, and that is about their journey. But also, like, when you're exploring different voices, don't think about what is authentic and what is your voice. None of us have a voice. We have a habit, we have a practice. So don't worry too much about what suits you or what is authentic. Play with all the different crayons, try all the different hats on, and have fun with it. And I had moments when I was doing voice training where people were like, what was that? You don't sound like yourself. Like, what was that voice you put on? And I'm like, just fucking, like, look the other way. Just fucking let me sound weird. Do you know what I mean? Just like, look away. I don't know. Let me just do, like, just ignore it. Let me just do what I'm doing. I don't know. Frog Dude says, your French is incredible. Thank you. That's very kind. T'es trop sympa, en fait. Merci. Pardon, le tutoyer. I'm always tutoying everybody using the informal. I apologize. One of the redeems is still speak with a British accent. We have to take that down. We simply must. The Eterna says, can you speak water and drink French at the same time? What we're not going to do is have me do a spit take on my keyboard live on stream. What we're not going to do, that's what we're not going to do. We're not going to do that. Nazrindi says, I'm out of the loop. What happened on Trans Reddit? If it's okay to ask, if not, I understand. Totally okay to ask. This is always a safe place for questions, for a discourse. It's not so much that something's happened on Trans Reddit. It's more just a general commentary that Trans Reddit, and especially specific forums on Trans Reddit, can reinforce a lot of toxic ideas. There can be a lot of reinforcing of negative concepts around trans experience, and like, for example, the Do I Pass, I think, is one of the forums, and there's just a lot of stuff that's really focused on negative themes, and there's some weird shit on Trans Reddit and also on Reddit in general. I have used Reddit a lot throughout my transition. It can be a really useful tool, don't get me wrong. But mama, there's some themes. There are some posts. Miss J McDougal says, love the earrings. Thank you. These are my favorite earrings that I own, and I'm glad y'all appreciate them. Yeah. Thank you for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. Bapico YT says, revolution now. Yes. Joseph says, I have like 7 different voices for different situations, and that's real. Like, it's also okay to just have different versions of yourself that you bring out at different moments in time. Sorry, I just need to text my flatmate back real quick. A little on my phone live on stream. I'm sorry. Okay. Hi, hello. Kids these days on their phones. My flatmate's wondering if I've had dinner, which I have not. And at some point in the near future, I'm going to go and eat dinner. Yes. In fact, let me just put it out here. We're gonna do till 1:15. It's currently 9:15. Somewhere close to 9:15 my time, roughly 10 more minutes ish. I think we're gonna, you know what, I'm like, should I go to 1:30? We'll see what the vibes are, but if there's any burning questions you have or anything that you're dying to say, we might be ending in 10 minutes, and we might also be ending in like 20 minutes. Stick around to find out. Okay. My flatmate's asking if I want them to pick anything up. Just, she's a professional. She's a professional. Hi. Um, hello. Oh my god, hi there. Didn't see you there. Hi. Um, Nostones says, our opinions accepted here. Didn't see a rule. Depends on what the opinions are. The thought police might get you. Real talk, most likely, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it does depend a bit on the opinion. I mean, right now, I don't even know how to ban people on YouTube, so you can probably just say shit. I might not respond. Oh, there is a ban. Okay, no, oh, you're on Twitch. No, I could ban you. But I probably won't. I don't know. I'm a big fan of a discourse, but it has to be in good faith. That's the tea. I got asked to be on this like debate bros podcast a while back, and I was like, it's not going to be in good faith, so I don't really want to talk about it. But if it's in good faith, I'll talk about it, you know. Yeah. Oh, there's a troll. Wait, is that the person I'm just talking about? Yeah. I mean, whenever I see someone say, "Our opinions accepted here," is there free thinking allowed? I'm always a little bit like, alarm bells. Anyway. God, Emperor of your bomb. Assuming that's not a troll follower. Thank you for following. What a username. Hi, hello, sorry. Let me get in here. What are we saying? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Aaron Fincher says, what I don't understand is why do people freak out when a trans person uses the public restroom that aligns with their identity, as if a trans girl is going into a woman's room to look at other women. And also, you can't. I mean, I don't know. Like, if you are a enormously big, extremely physically capable sex pest, I guess there's things that you can get away with. And I will say, I slightly understand it a little bit more in the United States because the bathrooms there have no privacy in general, but especially in most of the reasonable world, you have stalls, because so much of the bathroom panic is about trans women in women's bathrooms, and baby girl, there's stalls. So yeah. Now Serenity says, in the UK, our bathroom's different. Yes. So in the United States, in my gorgeous, wonderful country that I come from, the bathrooms they cover like this much, and even the door has a full inch. You can very easily go into a women's bathroom or any bathroom. In the United States, you can see through the door, through the closed door, and I will never ever fathom this. But when you sit on the toilet, I'm not visualizing this well for you, and I'm sorry, but the wall ends at the toilet seat. So I mean, you could so easily bend your head down to look if you wanted to. You could also just go over the wall like this and look down so easily, and your ass is not even covered by the fucking wall. I mean, it's grim. And like, what we need to do is we need to stop talking about trans women in bathrooms, and we just need to start talking about how inarticulatably disgusting United States bathrooms are everywhere in the United States, and how, and like, honestly, like, if I may, United States bathrooms do feel like they are set up for predatory behavior and geared towards that. Like, it does not make any of the transphobia acceptable. But United States bathrooms are grim. They are so grim. And growing up there, there's so many things where I look at my upbringing and I think, Yeah, maybe part of my anxiety disorder is because I grew up in a country where I never had any privacy because these old fucking gross men built a country with no privacy. And you think, yeah, well, maybe they did do that on purpose. And that is grim. But it is also not my fault as a trans woman. Period. Yes. Hi, hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for coming tonight. This was really, really sweet of you. I'm sorry I like never advertise like when I'm releasing a video, when I'm doing a stream. I'm so sorry. I just like I never advertise anything, and it's really nice when people still show up. I really appreciate it. Wait, so what was going on with the troll? What did they say? Because I didn't see, I think somebody may have banned them, and I don't see the messages. I don't know if they've been banned or what happened. Can someone fill me in? I feel like I missed the drama. But I have to say, Nazrindi said it as well, the first troll. I thought this stream was going to get a lot more trolls and a lot more hate based on the title of the stream. And I'm actually quite impressed that this stream has not had more toxicity. So thank goodness for that. Thank you for the follow, Sky George. Thank you so much. Did somebody ban them? Hello, Jonathan Joseph. Hello. Hope you're having a really lovely day. Ghost Ross says, love the shirt. Thanks. I do love this t-shirt. I can't believe you're transgender. Girl, me too. How crazy. How wild. Joey SF says, if your opinion isn't rogue, you wouldn't have to ask to give it. This is the thing. You just know when somebody is, you just know when somebody's asking that is like, what are you about to say? What do you think is too edgy that you have to ask permission? Like, okay. Okay, sir. God Emperor of your bomb says, no, I'm not a troll follower. I'm sorry about the username. Apology accepted. No, listen, the username is fierce. When I started on Twitch, I used to get like hate rated a couple times. I used to get spammed, and it was always the people who had like slightly edgy usernames that like would immediately inform me that I was being hate rated. So even like this person's just followed just now. Firstly, thank you for the follow, assuming you're genuine. But like the way that I used to like run my streams, anytime somebody followed me, I'd be like, I would have to read the name for myself first, read out if it was appropriate, try to hear how it sounded in my brain before I could read it out, and then say, thank you for following. And then oftentimes I would say, thank you so much for following. And the person would be like, you know, unalive yourself, you gross, whatever, you know, I don't need to fake hate myself. I already real hate myself. I'm just kidding. I don't. Brimming with self-love. Brimming with trans joy. Wait, is that the meme? Anyway, sorry, just throwing around random references today. But all that to say, whenever someone follows me, I'm a little bit distrustful. And just know that if you are genuine, I always appreciate that you have followed. And if I'm not showing you enough appreciation, I'm sorry. It's just because I have trust issues. And it's always the usernames that are like, it's something transphobic, like you're a man, but with like certain symbols or something. I'm just like, girl, find anything better to do with your time. I mean, please. Unstillborn. The usernames today, guys. Speaking of, anyway, it says, just want to say I saw your last short, first time hearing Cobra, love her, been listening to her every day. I am a Cobra evangelist, and I am so happy to have a convert. I am obsessed with everything Cobra. Brand new bitch, mama. That song has been a champion of my transition, my life, my journey with womanhood. I fuck with Cobra so hard. And also, if you want to give yourself a little, if you want to brighten your day, follow Cobra on Instagram because, mama, just, I'll let you find out for yourself. Um, yeah. Via Eternus says, even as an AMAB NB, I never use a urinal. It's not really gender related. I just like my privacy. I was never able to use urinals my entire life pre-transition. I physically could not. There are situations where I like had to, and I was like, well, we'll have to find a bush because of my OCD and my anxiety. I sometimes struggle to make bodily functions happen. And I know other people have like piss anxiety. It just feels like such an overshare. I just realized I'm wildly oversharing once again live on stream. But listen, yeah, when you have OCD, sometimes you have a hard time with bodily functions. And so it is not, I know lots of people are like, yeah, pee anxiety, that's just something normal people have. Take that, dial it up 5,000%, and then put that on every type of bodily function you have. And that's what I live with my disability called OCD. And it's a little bit difficult sometimes. But all that to say, I was never able to use urinals. And then eventually, obviously, when I transitioned, I was like, oh, for me, it was connected to disability and stuff, but it was also like, oh, kind of interesting that I never felt comfortable doing this very like male thing. Oh, oh, interesting. Daisy Calypso says, Cam says hi. Hi, Cam. And also, hi, Daisy. I don't know if I said hello properly. I probably did. Maybe I didn't. Why am I acting like I'm on Mandy? Hi, I love you so much. Hi, Cam. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. It's really nice to see you here. I miss you guys. Yeah. Pickled Cucumber says privacy is only for the bourgeoisie here, which is tea, which is very true. Oh my goodness. Simon Riley, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for, there's been a few follows lately. I feel like I did not properly thank you all, but thank you so much for following the stream. I really appreciate it. And yeah, again, just thank you guys so much for showing up today. This has been really nice. It's been a really nice space to just like process and hang out and work through stuff and, and vibe. Love the toilet discourse happening. The troll spoke the name of the orange Cheeto. Oh, I see. I see. Lovely. Lower Class Warfare says, another stupid thing about the right-wing bathroom thing is, do you really think someone who had ill intention to commit assault would actually care about a bathroom law? Give me a break. It's so fucking stupid. It's like, girl, someone who's going to commit a violent crime isn't going to be like, oh, I guess I won't though, because I'm like not allowed in here, so I'll be good. Like, what? No. Bag Dude says, I needed this stream. I've been feeling terrible all day about the news. Girl, me too. And I'm really happy we were able to create this space. And yeah. It's just been really nice. Apparently, there may be Adventure Time references in the chat. I know my name is Marceline, but I have never seen Adventure Time, and I do not get the references. I apologize. I named myself because I like old, weird French names. I've never even seen Adventure Time. Also, I found out that Lovecraft wrote a story about a Marceline character the other day, and I had read about that character before I transitioned, which is not the reason I think that I named myself that, but it did occur to me that that may have been subliminally that name got into my brain and why I ended up choosing it. So I don't know, who knows. But yeah, I was so like tripping out about that the other day. I was like, wait, did I like read this? And then and then end up choosing it. The funny thing is, right, nobody asked for the lore drop, but I've never seen Adventure Time. I did not name myself after Marceline the Vampire Queen. Love her though, love her vibes, love her gig. I mean, she's incredible. But I did not name myself after her. But the funny thing is that one of the reasons I chose one of the reasons I found the name. So there's like two ways I found my name. One was I was looking through all these old French names, and I was looking at this name, which is actually pronounced Miley, but it's a French name, and it's spelled completely differently. And I was looking at that. I was looking at Marceline. I knew that I wanted an M name, and I was looking at, like, I wanted something old. I wanted something out of circulation. So then I found it on this list. And then the other thing that happened is that this lovely transmasculine stud, I went on this really hot date with them, and after the date, they did the most fucking like gay thing ever, and they sent me a whole ass playlist that made them think of me, and the song Marceline by Willow was on it. And that's one of the reasons I chose the name. And then I later found out that Willow wrote the song Marceline about the Adventure Time character. So in a roundabout way, I did name myself after her. I just didn't realize it. Didn't even know she existed. But I feel bad for only knowing her for the song with Cupcake. I actually don't know what we're talking about there, but love Cupcake, by the way. While we're doing Marceline lore drops, I used to be a drag artist, and the best performance I ever gave was to LGBT by Cupcake. And every once in a while, I still wanna roll out that set because I ate it up. If I may be a little bit full of myself for 2 seconds, it is one of very few performances in my life where I've been like, I ate that up. Bo AS says gender is confusing. I declare myself gender free, and that's such a powerful thing to do. And I think I love the concept of gender free. I use that expression a lot in the last video, which I kind of wanted to talk about the last video a little bit in today's live stream. I feel like we didn't really get to it as much. If you do have any burning questions, feel free to drop them in, but I will be probably winding down soon. I always say that, and then I end up streaming for like another hour, but I use the expression gender free instead of trans a lot. I do use the word trans as well, but I use gender free a lot in the last video. That was really important to me because right-wing people always talk about freedom, and they're always like, we just love freedom, we just want freedom. And I'm like, so why are you restricting everybody's rights like all the time? Like, you're just constantly restricting freedoms of other people, so you don't want freedom. And what being trans is it's being free with your gender. It's being gender free. And I just feel like if you phrase it that way, a lot of right-wing people would be like, oh, but and it's like, no, like, you don't want people to be free. You do not believe in freedom. How dare you say that you believe in freedom and that freedom is what you want? Because it isn't. And I had a whole bit in the video where I like talk about that, but it was like the video was already 2 hours long, so I ended up cutting that. So, but that's why I said gender free so much instead of trans in the video. And I think I kind of slightly wish that I'd actually left my explanation in because but anyway, I didn't. I cut it. Sometimes I cut things and I'll get comments and people are like, well, I wish you'd said this. And I was like, I did. I said that. And then I cut it and now I feel bad. But yeah, it's hard for me to know sometimes how long things should be and what should be in the edit and what hurts the flow. I have obsessive compulsive disorder and I overthink everything. Oh my gosh, Joysoft quoting the left hand of darkness here, which he sent me the other day. Such a great quote. Neither man nor woman, neither and both, cyclic, lunar, metamorphosizing under the hand's touch, changelings in the human cradle. And that's about this species in the left hand of darkness. Fantastic sci-fi book that is very anarchist, very gender, highly recommend. I talk about this book in my video I feel so pretentious constantly quoting my own work, but in my video called The Revolutionary Power of Choosing the Self, I talk about this book, The Left Hand of Darkness, and how there's a species in it called the Gathenians who are neither male nor female. And it's very radical reading about an entire race um, who do not have a sex, and they will become male or female only if for the sake of procreation. And that quote is a quote about them, about the Gathenians. And I love the Gathenians, and I need to stop bringing them up in every video essay, because I'm also realizing I mentioned them in the video essay about dreams, and I'm like, we should probably like talk about anything new. But it's so cool. Changelings in the human cradle, cyclic lunar metamorphosing. I was like, oh, so good. Vampire Marceline music review. That would be really good. I should do that. There's a lot of songs called Marceline that are based on Marceline the character as well, and that'd be cool. Joey says Adventure Time would be a perfect dilation watch. I feel like you're right, and I feel like I should watch it at some point. I feel like there's this part of me that I shouldn't admit this, but I guess there's this part of me that feels embarrassed that people think that I would have named myself after a cartoon character. And let me just be clear, there's nothing embarrassing about that. This is my own fear of cringe and my own fear of others' perception of me. There's nothing wrong with naming yourself after a cartoon character. In fact, I think it's very cool. But this is part of me that hides behind the, oh, I've never seen it, which I haven't, as my like, I swear I didn't name myself after a cartoon character, but I should just get over myself, because I have heard that the character is very cool, and I probably would like the show, so I should probably just watch it. Yeah. Yes. I like this track. It's groovy. You better have been honest about the audio levels. If I watch the replay of this stream and the audio levels are bad, I'm finding every single person who told me they were good, because I didn't check them. So I trusted you, and I'm sure they're fine. My boyfriend does audio. He would have told me. Joyster Stevens says, I'll be back when I have a better space to hear you better. I'm on the bus, don't go anywhere. But I'm so sorry to tell you that I am going to go somewhere soon, because I'm hungry, and you guys don't need to see me hangry live on stream. You don't, and you don't need to see that. You don't want to see that. You don't need to see that. Loris Tyrell says, I'd like to take Persephone as my name if I ever transition, but I'd worry it's a bit cringe. It's so hard with all of this stuff, because it's like, girl, choose the name. I mean, Persephone is such a beautiful name, and I love that oftentimes as trans people we have the power to choose things that are a little bit cringe to the outside world, because we've already been through enough of being an outsider that we're like, we're just gonna, have the names that we want. And I think Persephone is a beautiful, gorgeous name. Fuck being normal, be fucking cringe. That's how I feel. Loris Tyrell says, before you go, do you have any advice for creating video essays? What software do you use? Yeah, so I use the Adobe Creative Suite. I want to recommend that to you, but honestly, I feel very resentful of their business practice. It is very expensive, and if I wasn't already so locked into the ecosystem, the creator ecosystem, I would be like so not in on that. I like the Adobe Creative Suite. I like the programs. I have learned to use them over the past decade that I've been on YouTube. But I do think that their business model is super unethical. So I'm not going to promote them to you or tell you to use them, but I will answer the question, and that is what I use. I use Adobe Creative Suite. I use Adobe Premiere Pro for all of my video editing, and I use Photoshop for all of my graphics, thumbnails, etc. As for advice, oh my god, we're getting a raid. I hope it's not a hate raid. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I haven't been rated in so long. That's crazy. Hi, Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. I hope you're all nice people and not a hate raid. I always get a little bit nervous when I get raided. All 2 times it's happened. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being here. Um, hello, Zachap, if that's how you pronounce your name. Zachap says, I'm Ancom Syndicalist. Love the vids. Oh my gosh, you're welcome in. You're great. Okay. Make yourself at home. Thank you so much for the raid. That was really thoughtful of you. I never get raided. Wow. I feel so special. Thank you so much. And also thrilled to have more anarchist representation on the stream tonight. I feel like we've had a lot of anarchists here and we've had some really cool anarchist conversations tonight. So lovely to have you here. Yeah, I'm a little bit shy. I'm a little bit nervous. Hi, hello. Welcome to my stream. If you're new here, we do an odd mix of things. Sometimes it's video games. Sometimes, like today, it's a little bit more political. And today, with this stream, is talking about the Supreme Court ruling in the UK that I am no longer a woman legally as a trans woman. We've also just been talking about communes, anarchist organizing, and like how the government doesn't get to tell me what I am and what I get to be. So, we love having anarchists in the chat. And Subchap, I need to, if I haven't already followed you, I need to stop by one of your streams at some point. Yeah, I'm glad you like my videos. I'm gonna cry live on stream. Thank you. What were we talking about? We were talking about fucking Adobe Creative Suite of all things. Yes, anyway. Advice. Okay, we were talking about video essay advice. Advice for anybody who wants to get into being a video essayist. I started making videos on my phone. So I guess like my main piece of advice, I feel very cringe saying this, but the best thing to do, I think, is to just start doing it. But at the start, do it for yourself. So one of my main pieces of advice would be to create some content for yourself first without sharing it. Spend some time thinking and workshopping what you want to create, what you want it to be about. What is your angle? Do you have, like, what is your voice? What do you want to speak on and in what ways? And create a couple of videos that you plan to not share or that you plan to unlist just for people in your personal life. Explore different creative expressions, watch other types of video essayists whose style that you resonate with, and just workshop it. As much as I just said, like, just do it, dive in, film stuff on your phone. I believe that's the way I do everything. I'm a no tutorial girly. I don't watch the tutorial. I go in, I just like clumsily try to figure stuff out on my own all the time, and I sometimes regret that. With YouTube, I think I wish that I had spent a little bit more time workshopping what I wanted to do rather than just jumping straight in. But that's what I did. I jumped straight in, and here we are. And at this current moment in time, I would say that I have a decent bit of pride in what I do, but that is something that's taken me a long time to develop and realize what I want it to be. Yeah. Right, diving back into the chat here. Yeah. I'm a genderless cat. Work. We love genderless cat representation in the chat. CapCut is free for starting out. So I've actually just started using CapCut for TikToks. I've just started using TikTok and I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying CapCut. Yeah, and I have a friend who uses DaVinci. So yeah, I fully am never going to endorse Adobe unless I am literally starving and desperate for the rent money and they're offering me a spawn. But otherwise, I think that their business model is super unethical. So I'm not going to endorse them. But it is what I use. Frogthing says, I finally caught a live. You've been so inspiring in my journey and hopefully being able to come out soon. Thank you. Oh, Farthing, that's really, really sweet of you to say. And wishing you so much, like sending you so much love with your own journey and wishing you all the very best with it. You've got this. Joey Seth says, we are here to fight the power through existence. Damn right. Absolutely. My existence is praxis. God damn it. Zachap says, we just watched the latest of Novara covering the women British news saying Turf Island does not surprise. Turf Island is truly turfing. Yeah, it's sadly not surprising, but it is really fucking awful and depressing. But I need to stay up with Novara more. I follow them and I've like, with every news app that I've ever used, I try to be like, I really want you to please give me Novara Media. And they never fucking do. They're always like, even if I favorite them and put them at the top of everything, they're like, let me just not show you them. But we have been discussing today how like the government, it's like I don't have a gender recognition certificate anyway. And I was actually applying for one last week, and then I had a moment where I was like, I don't need the government to tell me that I'm a woman, so I just stopped. And that is like that's not meant to downplay how scary and how frustrating and how stressful so much of the legislative reality here is. But it is to say that we do not need governments to tell us who we are and how we can or cannot express ourselves. Yeah. Lower Class Warfare says, it's funny to me how many anarchists have spoken out today because I was looking up Emma Goldman quotes to put on my website. That is amazing. And you are indeed in very good company. And I have an Emma Goldman book, which I need to read. The reading list is so long, girl. We need to get with it. Yeah, truly. Okay, so I feel terrible doing this since we've just had a bunch of lovely raiders join us, but raiders, you were ill-timed because we're seeing this stream out, but if you have any burning questions or anything you want to say, we can just hang out for a couple more minutes, but we are going to wind things down. Your girl has not eaten dinner, and I need to eat dinner. I need to dilate all the overshares, but yeah, I'm starting to like, I'm reaching the point where my brain is slowing down. To everyone who rated, I just need you to know that I had lots of really erudite things that I said earlier, but the caffeine is worn off and I'm tired, and yeah, I need to go take care of myself. Yes. Okay, what are we saying? Going through the chat now. Laura Tyrell says, is there a Discord or community space for this channel? I do have a Discord. Right now it is only for my patrons, which, yeah, I don't know. I am like, I hate anything that is exclusive or behind a paywall, but for the record, you can join my Patreon for as low as £1.50. But yeah, right now it is a patron only space, but it's active. There's lots of really lovely folks in that Discord community. And, yeah, I'm pretty sure you get Discord from being a YouTube member as well. So, but if the cheapest way into the Discord is to go on Patreon because it's only £1.50. But yes, obviously, no pressure to join. And yeah. Amazon Robinhood, which by the way, great username, says, are you streaming on YouTube too or something? Yes, I am. So usually, and yeah, so usually I stream every Wednesday night on Twitch, and every once in a while I also stream on YouTube. So today we're streaming on both. I've never done this before. So yeah, very curious to have feedback on that. Like, I hope it worked okay for everyone. I know it's a little bit odd having me replying to comments that you guys cannot see and wherever you're watching this. But yeah, if you like my live streams, usually they are every single Wednesday night. I usually start around 7 p.m. London time, roughly. and stream for roughly a few hours. And yeah, they are every Wednesday night on Twitch. My Twitch is at Mars in Theory. And then I like streaming on YouTube a lot too. It's just that sometimes on my Twitch is an every week thing. It's like sometimes I sometimes I want to turn off the philosophy and the academia and play some fucking Baldur's Gate 3. So next week we will probably be starting a new Baldur's Gate 3 campaign, and yeah. So yeah, but I think I will do more streams if it's okay with people. I think I will do more streams on both platforms, especially when I'm doing more of a political or a just chatting stream, because I think I do just chatting streams a lot on Twitch, and I think it would be nice to share those on YouTube, even if they're not always like super planned. And yeah. Yeah, so that's currently the way things work. If you have any like feedback you want to give me, or if you like, I don't know about this, just let me know, because I'm still very much, I used to stream years ago and I'm still kind of getting back into it, dipping my toes back in, figuring out what it looks like for me. When I started out on Twitch, I wanted to be like a very like political commentary stream. Then I started doing a lot of gamer girl shit. Now I think I kind of want to do both, but we're still kind of figuring out exactly what everything looks like. But yeah, I've had a lovely stream today. Today has been so nice, and I really appreciate everyone for showing up and for chatting with me and for having such really cool conversations and stuff. It's been really good. Joey says y'all should be fully automated luxury communism. That is like so high on my reading list, and I've been meaning to read it for ages, but I still have not. I'm currently, the leftist text I'm working on right now is The Dawn of Everything, and I've just gone through the prologue, so I have just not really been giving enough energy to reading lately, but so far it's really good. And then I'm also currently reading, totally unrelated, not totally unrelated, but not as political. I'm reading She Walks with Shadows, which is a Lovecraftian novella collection of different stories that are retellings of Lovecraft stories through a more feminine perspective. Love it. It's great. Some of the stories are better than others, but I like it a lot. Yeah. Best McDougal says, wonderful to see you live. Can't catch all of your streams, and so happy to catch the end of this one. Thank you for stopping by. It's been really, really lovely to see you. Zaraj says, there's something crawling behind on the back wall. Can you not? Can you not? Is that true? Chat, is that true? Earlier in the stream, I don't know if you were here, but earlier in the stream, we were talking about how I've been watching so much horror in preparation for the next video essay, which, by the way, script, like, I want to say almost done, but probably the script is probably like 2/3 of the way done. And I have been watching so much horror, and I'm like, I'm touchy right now. So don't fuck with me. Bogdan says, any suggestions for someone trying to get their first femme clothes? Any secret essentials? I'm trying to think where like I got my first femme clothes. I don't know. As I was talking about earlier, I didn't really have a experience with being closeted. I was a drag artist before I transitioned, so I've always had a lot of feminine clothes. So I think the first like girl clothes I bought were probably from Primark when I was like 18. So yes. Amazon Robinhood says both chats on screen would be cool. I really wanted that to happen for today's stream, and I barely managed to figure out the technology to multi-stream, so I didn't quite get there. I have no idea how to do that. I would love to do that. It's really nice the way it works for me, because I can just read both chats from both streams super easily, and it's really nice. But it would be really cool if that was both on screen. Would be really nice. I would like to do that for sure. Yes. Um, yeah. Goodbye, Frog Dude. Fletcher says that's how I found the Twitch. Saw you live on YouTube, and the description had a Twitch. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've done a terrible job advertising Twitch. But yeah, she does stream every single week, and I'm just so fucking terrible at advertising myself in all capacities, on all social medias and every way. I need a producer, girl. Anyway, yeah. Bobby K says, I feel like you'd really enjoy Raymond Williams' work if you fuck with Gramsci. I will note that into my brain and hopefully remember it. I might forget, but I hopefully remember it because that sounds like something I would really enjoy. Because I love Gramsci's work. I really, really do. Suchap says, personally, I'm a very philosophy, theory, history, and news stream. No gaming. I do ponder if to game just to find the liberals, to educate them to the left. But I get pretty mad at liberals. So, girl, this is the struggle of being a leftist content creator. It's like, do I evangelize or do I be happy and sane? But that I need to start watching your stream because I think I will enjoy it. I mean, that is all things that I absolutely love. And that's how I wanted to start out my stream. My challenge, especially at the start of streaming and still sometimes, is that if I struggle if I'm low on if there's not a lot of people here that I can chat with, I like just melt and I don't know what I'm doing and I have like a slight like shutdown. And so gaming is nice because it gives me something to do if nobody shows up. I've had a couple streams where I plan to do a just chatting stream, and as a smaller stream I'll be like, we're doing a just chatting stream this week, and nobody shows up, which is fine. But I'm like, well, I planned this to be a just chatting stream. There's no one to chat with, and I don't know what to do now. So, yeah. So I'm hoping, like, yeah, at some point there can be enough of a community vibe where maybe I can focus more on doing more philosophy and political commentary streams myself, because I really, really, really like those, and I really want to do more of them. Joey Stuff says, just me, Mars, and the crickets. Literally, there's been a couple streams lately where it's been like, hi, cool, yeah. Thank you for the follows. Sorry, I forgot to say thank you. Thank you so much for the follows. I really appreciate it. And yeah, again, we stream every Wednesday night. And we'll try to do some more cross streams with YouTube as well. Joey says I've engaged neurodivergent superpowers and been watching both chats. That's so fucking chaotic. Suchup says future horror vid. Any mention of Max Stirner spooks? My main guesses is this probably about Derrida, Mark Fisher, hauntology. Oh my god. You're completely wrong, but you probably shouldn't be. I probably should be. I have been wanting to dive into more Mark Fisher. That's been on my list. I don't know anything about Mark Fisher's hauntology work. I did 1 year doing a master's in philosophy, which equipped me a lot, but also I am still very underread, and I'm still really working on becoming more read. The past 6 months have just been dominated by like surviving surgery, so I haven't really been doing a lot or reading a lot. So but thank you for saying that, because I can look that up. Although for the record, the video is not about horror. Well, how much do I want to give away? It's not about horror, but it's not only about horror. Yeah. And there is theory and there is philosophy in it, as always, but I feel like it's probably slightly more on the political / literary review end of things, or media review end of things, than I usually do. It is like a fully fledged video essay, but it might be like, so far my video essays have been like here on academic, and this is like here on academic, I guess, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of like just kind of floating it out there, because some people are like, your content is way too academic and we need you to, like, you know, make it digestible. And this is going to have, I hope, enough like for both, for people who are interested in both. Like there are going to be some of my usual super pretentious academic moments, and there are also going to be a little bit of like media review and political stuff. So anyway, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be good and fun. I hope people like it. I'm going to go and look up Max Stirner and ontology because I'm not familiar. And listen, Zachap, if you ever want to be a co-writer on something, I have things to say, but how much time do I have to catch up on all the reading I have missed out on? I don't know, girl. Anyway, we're doing our best. Yeah. Yes. Convenient Estelle says, what's up? First time catching a live stream. Convenient Estelle, you have showed up at the worst time because we are going to be winding things down and saying goodbye soon. But please do feel free to come along to another stream. The next stream, I'm going to have things figured out, hopefully. I'm going to like, if I do a cross stream again, I'm going to make sure I can see whenever you redeem stuff because I'm goofed on that this stream and I'm so sorry. Please, yeah. So usually we do just stream on Twitch. So next week, your redeems will be valid. I can add points for you and it will be more of that vibe. And next time I do a cross stream, I'll have it figured out where I can see your redeems and kind of hopefully also have both chats. I will have a little look. I'll do my best. Yeah. No spoilers, literally. I'm like, I don't want to give it away. Just like, hopefully that was enough of a tease without throwing it all out there. Scary Squishy says, and what a sweet question to ask. Genuinely very thoughtful of you to ask. If people want to support your work, where's your preferred place for that? So yeah, just before I go, I'll just articulate that because it's a little bit like, I don't know, it's confusing for me. So there's two things going on right now. I mentioned earlier in the stream that YouTube are currently offering £5 for every new channel member. So that means that even if you join at the lowest level of channel membership, YouTube is just going to throw £5 at me up to a maximum of £500. So in theory, if a bunch of people were to join up, even at the lowest tier, I could potentially get a lot of money, and that's only for this, month. So right now, at this exact moment in time, I would love for people to join YouTube membership, but I feel awkward asking for that because this is me like starving artist request, but I feel bad asking for that because really I prefer Patreon, and that is the community that I've spent years building, that I am much more invested in, I guess I will say. So if you genuinely just want to help support me right now, YouTube membership is something that really will help me out. But in the long term, that's just a this month thing. And in the long term, I'm a lot more focused on Patreon, and that's where I post my essays. That's where I post exclusive videos, where I posted a really sexy pull routine, which is not like meant to be sexually gratifying, but it is kind of cool from the last video essay. Anyway, that's my family vibes on Patreon. That's the some lovely folks that I've gotten to know, and just is very much like, that's my space. But I want to treat both YouTube membership and Patreon, very much the same. You get into the Discord either way, like, yeah. And then I also have, someone asked me to make a Ko-Fi the other day. So I did make a Ko-Fi. So if you don't want to support me monthly, you can also give me a one-time donation on Ko-Fi. And yeah, subscriptions on Twitch help as well, but Twitch tends to take a lot of money, I think. I'm pretty sure Twitch takes quite a large percentage. Patreon gives me the highest percentage of your support. I think I get 93% on Patreon, which is crazy. YouTube give me 70%. I think Twitch give me like 60%. So yeah, Patreon is the best place if you want to give me a high percentage. Anyway, I'm way, way, way over explaining this, so sorry. A rant. Have you heard of Giles Deleuze and Félix Guattari? Mais évidemment. I have read a little bit of Deleuze. I have there's this Guattari Deleuze paper called about rhizomes, which is so fucking pretentious, but I love it. I love it. Um, and I quote it in something somewhere. It might not have been a video essay. It might have been a no, I think I quoted in a video essay. Yeah. Um, yes. Yeah. Joseph says, is it just a Twitch stream next week? Yes. And Twitch streams are every single week, and I want to do YouTube streams and cross streams more regularly. So maybe I'll do more like once a month I will do like a cross stream on both, and otherwise every single Wednesday night I will be on Twitch. So yeah, obviously no pressure to show up to anything, but yeah, I'll try to get better at advertising the like cross streams and the YouTube ones. But yeah, thank you guys so much for showing up on a stream that I barely advertise. That's very kind. Joey Stuff says, how much is the lowest tier? So on Patreon, it's £1.50. On YouTube, I think it's £2.99, but I'm not 100% sure. Lower Class Warfare, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you so much. It was very kind. Thank you. Thank you guys for helping me like play the game, because I'm really, really bad at the capitalist shit, and I'm really bad at advocating for myself. So it's very sweet of you to like bring this stuff up. Yeah, you guys are very nice. Loris Tyrell says, can you speak French? Ouais, je parle français. Mais mon français, c'est pas trop bien. Je parle français au niveau B2. Alors, je suis intermediate. Je sais pas comment dire en français, mais je peux pas parler, like, yeah. Je peux pas parler français couramment. I think that's the right way of saying I do not speak French fluently, but I have studied it in France, and I'm hoping to go back to Nantes University, one of my favorite cities in the world, to become fluent, but I'm not there yet. Yes. Discordant, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. It's very, very kind. All right, you guys, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna just keep streaming. We're 3 hours in, and I was meant to go make myself food and go dilate ages ago. So I need to find a place to wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for coming along. Convenient Estelle says, votre français n'est pas mal. Mais merci. T'es trop sympa, vraiment, mais merci. Thank you so much for coming along. I'm going to do a little outro. I don't know for sure if I'm going to leave this up on YouTube, but I'll do a little outro. So brace for a little cringe outro for YouTube for replay moment. Yes. Thank you all so much for coming along to the stream today. It was so much fun to hang out with you guys. We had some really interesting, very cool discussions, as always. And yeah, and I really appreciate it. If you are watching the replay of today's stream, thank you for investing your time and energy in a stream replay. And I stream every Wednesday night on Twitch. I'm trying to do more regular streams on YouTube as well, so feel free to come and hang out with me some other time. And yeah, the new video will hopefully be out soon, at some point. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here, and ta-ra for now.